Hi everyone, I'm Ken.
And I'm Julie.
And we've gone caravanning. Tonight we're going to bring you our second episode in the budget series. We're at Alice Springs at the moment. We've just come up through the middle. It's been 15 weeks on the road now. We did a video at 8 weeks and I'm sure you've seen that one. And this is an update on how that's going. So at the 8-week mark we were on track. We were actually not going too bad. So yeah, now we'll let you know how it's still going. But before we do that, we'll just mention a few of the places we've been since then. When we did that last one, we were in Warrnambool. So now, as I said, we're now in Alice Springs. So we've come a fair way, but still got a long way to go. Some of the places we've been is Mount Gambier. That was pretty good, just to see the Blue Lake and Emerson sinkhole and that was nice.
A lot to do there, yeah.
Yeah, and then we spent, I think we spent about 5 days in Robe. And
that's relaxing.
Yeah, it was relaxing, wasn't it? We got to just chill out and relax a little bit there. We've pretty been on the go a lot, so that was nice. And then we stopped over at a little town on the way to Victor Harbour at Meningie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we spent 2 days there. We pulled up there. We didn't even put the annex up, nothing. Just unhooked the caravan. And that's where we stayed for the next couple of days. And it was right on the lakefront.
Lots of pelicans.
Pelicans, yeah. Julie bought a book to send home to the grandson, The Storm Boy, which was filmed around that area. So that was good.
Yeah.
And then we rolled into Victor Harbour. Well, the first day in Victor Harbour, we did 25,000 steps.
There was so much walking to do.
We got up at daybreak. We thought we'd see the sunrise.
Yeah.
We walked into the harbour. I said, we'll just walk across to the island. So we get to the other side of the island. There's like birds everywhere, wildlife everywhere. We thought, oh, well, we'll just do the walk now. So off we went and we walked the island.
About 3 hours or so later, we get back.
We got back and then we decided to go down to Elliot, Port Elliot.
Yeah.
So we went down there and had a look around, and then there was a boat. There was a train, a steam train came in there, and we just by the end of the day we were exhausted. We were just 25,000 steps.
Yeah.
It just one thing led to another. It just kept going. It was an awesome day. From there we went to Handorf. It rained the whole time we were there. The thing we did do is we ate out. We had the German sausage thing. We did the German sausage thing, and Julie had a hot rum toddy or something when we went out for lunch there one day or something. Just a hot rum cider or something, was it? And so we went out to lunch a couple of times there, but it did rain the whole time we were there, so that put a bit of a damper, I think. From there we went down to Christie's Beach. A couple of other nice days in the sun down there. It was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. And from there we went round to the York Peninsula, and we've got to say the bottom half of the York Peninsula, even though we had a lot of grey skies and stuff, we had an absolute great time there, didn't we? It started with Ardrossan.
Yeah.
And then Edithburgh, that was just great on the waterfront, wasn't it? Stansbury again, the seals there at the jetty, and it was just great down there, and it was cheap. It was like $31 a night to stay in the caravan parks down there, or 36 probably the most down there.
Yeah, mind you, it's autumn, wasn't it? Going into winter. Autumn.
Yeah. So then we came up to Wallaroo and did some on Munta. There was a bit of a festival on there, so we did a little bit on Munta. And then we went out to Clare. Again, when we got to Clare, it was just rain.
It was raining the whole time.
The whole time we were there. And then we decided we'd had enough. That was enough grey weather for us. It's time to leave and come up the middle. So we started the trip up the middle, first night up to Pimba, a free camp there at a roadhouse, Spud's Roadhouse. Great stop, wasn't it?
That was a good stop.
That was a good stop. Just pull up there, caravans right around the fence line. We went in and bought fish and chips. Yeah. It was just great. And then on to Coopapedy. And I'm not sure what to say about Coopapedy.
Interesting.
It's certainly not going to win any Tidy Town awards. And then we went on to Uluru. We spent a couple of nights in Uluru. And then today we've come up to Alice Springs. So this is our first night here. We're going to do 5 nights here.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to relaxing a little bit. So it's been pretty full on and very interesting once we left Port Augusta. So we're just going to probably get into the facts and figures. So they're all here, as you know. We've been keeping track of everything. Just more so, we don't want to go home and have spent an absolute fortune. For those who watched the first video, we have a budget of about $1,000 a week. We'd like to go home in 40 or 45 weeks and have spent $40,000 or $45,000, and that we'd be happy with that. So let's do it. So fuel figures. We've spent $3,103 in fuel in 15 weeks. Site fees, we've spent $3,257, which works out at $31 a night. There's some free camps in there. That's the reason that's down so low. I think the most we've paid is 56. I think we're paying 56 or something here, aren't we?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But we do know. Oh, I know. Uluru was how much? Uluru was a bit more than that.
Yeah, it will go up as we go up.
We know it's going up as we go up, and we're going to have to watch what we do from here on in and how we manage it, this budget. We've spent $4,626 on food in total. Tours, $1,372 on tours. TVs and phones, $1,066. And $1,377 on other. Now, other could include haircuts, some clothes we may have bought, birthday presents, some postage. Yeah. We had to send some stuff home for birthdays and stuff. So all the little things that don't really come under anything.
Yeah.
So when it all comes down to it, we've spent $14,519, and that's cost us $967, or it comes to $967.97 a week. So we are under budget. Having said that, the last week was a real eye-opener. Coming up from Port Augusta to here has been pretty extreme on fuel. We've spent $686 in fuel in the last week. Top price was $2.65. I'll talk a little bit more about the fuel in a minute. The site fees are rising. Food, we've broken up our food now a little bit because we wanted to know what we're spending on eating out, what we're doing in coffees, and shopping itself. The food we bring back to the van. So we've actually broken that up a bit now. So in just the last 4 weeks, we've had that broken up. Eating out, we've had $486 eating out, $167 in coffee, and $640 in shopping we've brought back to the van. So we just broke that up a little bit now, just so if we need to trim things a little bit, we might be able to knock a bit off the coffee, or maybe skip a breakfast out or something. I don't really know. Yeah. We'll see how we go. Tours. We spent $330 on tours last week. So
that was in Cooper Pedy with
Cooper Pedy's. We did the Noble tour out to the breakaways and that, and then a mine tour, Tom's Mine.
Yeah.
And then we paid to go into the Uluru Park.
Yes.
So yeah, there's been a fair bit in tours. TV and phone, normal stuff, and stuff like that. So yeah, fuel. Let's talk about the fuel. We've travelled 11,694 kilometres. We've used 1,571.5 litres, costing us $3,103. The fuel average for the whole trip is 13.5 litres per 100 kilometres. The best we've done, and obviously this is with no Caravan on, we've done 6.63 litres per 100 kilometres. The worst we've done, and that was from Port Augusta to Cooper Pedy, was 18.86 litres per 100 kilometres. And that was a bit of a shock to me. We've been doing about 14s, but the pull up to here has been quite hard. And
steady uphill, wasn't it?
Yeah, and obviously we've got full tanks of water on now, and we're fully loaded with everything. So there's, we're pulling about 2.8 tonne uphill. So yeah, And just as a result of that, when we left Uluru today, what was the weather conditions like, Julie?
Oh, it was the first 200 kilometres. It was just fog.
We drove through thick fog for 200 kilometres when we left Uluru today. So as a consequence to that, we travelled. I normally travel at 100 kilometres an hour. Today we travelled at 90 kilometres an hour for 355 kilometres to see if we could, the fuel saving, if we just slowed down a little bit. So as a comparison, we were doing about 18.86, 18.15, so about 18 and a half all the way from Port Augusta to there. When we slowed down, we actually did 16.73. So we saved about 2 litres per 100 kilometres. I guess that equates to the tank full. We filled up at $2.35. So I guess it equates to about $16 or $17. I don't know if I'm going to travel at 90 kilometres. It seems awful slow. And I don't like people catching up to me and holding traffic up. So we probably will sit on 95, 100 and make up to $16 somewhere else. But I suppose it does buy a cup of coffee, so I don't know. We'll leave that to you guys. All right, problems. We have had a couple of problems. Nothing bad, but ants. Julie tracked down we had ants in the van. We've had it twice now, and we've tracked them down.
We don't know whether they've been travelling with us from home, or we picked them up at Warrnambool.
Yeah. So we got onto them. Julie was great. We got onto them within the first day or two that we knew that was a problem. And we
the old ant breed.
Yeah. So we got rid of them the first time, and then a couple of weeks later we kind of had another little go, didn't they?
Yeah.
We started to spot them again. So the ants. So I guess the tip is to get onto it straight away.
Just the little brown ones, the little black ones.
Yeah, only the tiny ones, so it wasn't too bad. I had a little trouble with the trailer, mate, so I had to actually pull that apart and put the seal in the top where you would wind it to let it up and down. Once again, YouTube to the rescue. We did a search and watched a YouTube video on how they work and how to fix them, and I did that, and all was good. We didn't buy a new kit, so we still
bought some oil.
We're monitoring that, whether it leaks again or anything. But I think it just popped out the little O-ring at the top. So that's all back in and good, and we topped it up with oil, and that's great. We're still making the videos. We're trying to slow down a little bit now and relax. So it's been pretty full on. We've been just moving on. So...
Yeah, you don't realise travelling and sightseeing, it wears you out.
It wears you out, yeah, especially when you do 25,000 steps in a day.
You need to stop for a while.
Yeah, so we're going to do that in Darwin. We are actually going to put the legs up in Darwin for 2 weeks. But in the next, we're here for 5 days, and then we're going to use 8 days to get to Darwin. So. If we have to come back and do some Caravan, we've got to come back that way anyway. We will. And then we'll start the trip across the top.
Around to Western Australia.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. We will bring you another budget series and how we go. I'm a little bit worried about it. We're getting pretty close to it now. 14,519, which really means over the 15 weeks, it should have been 15,000. We're $480 in front. I would suspect that we'll eat that $480 up next week. when we did fuel going up, we got 1,600 kilometres to Darwin. Yeah. What happened was we did all those kilometres in 1 week. So as I said, $686 in fuel in 1 week. Plus we paid a lot of site fees in 1 week, and everything fell into that 1 week. And I suspect that might happen again next week. As we move on up. It's a
long way, isn't it? Up the middle.
Up the middle, yeah.
A lot of kilometres to get to places.
Yeah. So we're going to leave it at that. We're not going to go too much more into that this time. I hope this has been helpful and you get something from it. I can definitely say that travelling up through the middle, through the red centre, is definitely a costly exercise compared to being down on the York Peninsula, isn't it?
When you're just moving along gradual, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember watching a YouTube video once before from some other people, and they said if you're spending too much on fuel, you need to slow down. So
And stop.
so we'll be definitely doing some slowing down and slow the fuel figures down. So
Yeah.
we certainly don't want to see repeats of $686 on a regular basis. So, but there'll be times when it's going to happen.
Yeah, there will be.
Alrighty, well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next episode.
All right. See you later.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Do you want to do it again?
No.